everyone, today I'll be reviewing this movie. It is on Netflix. It's called The God Comedy and it is starring Kelsey Grammer, Julia Stiles, and this movie is directed by Tony Stark. And this movie centers around this group of doctors. They're in a heart transplant committee in New York, one of the best, I guess, hospital in the country. And this couple of people in the committee, they decide who gets the heart, like whenever this heart is available for transplant, they decide who will get it, who will not get it, like what is their priorities, and if this heart, in case it goes to someone, do they deserve it, how long it gonna last if they get it. Many interesting ideas actually this movie brings to us. So this is kind of like a doctor drama type movie, which is if you like this kind of hospital setting movie, there is this kind of movie. So in this movie we see Kelsey Grammer. He plays this top heart transplant surgeon. His name is Dr. Boxer in this movie. But in this movie you also see Julia Stiles, and Julia Stiles actually she's also part of this committee. Like, she's a young doctor, she just become the part of this committee, and you see actually these two people, they're actually dating, or should I say we're dating in this movie, like on the side, in private. So I actually really liked when this movie starts, because I thought, because especially if you are in a recipient for this kind of heart a transplant, when you watch this movie, you can get, like, even you are not a the candidate, even you, like, someone is, or like someone we might heard of it. So this movie does bring some of the interesting aspect about like who should be getting this transplant. In this movie we actually see this old lady, she was about to get this heart transplant, then actually she dies in this movie. So it's very tricky situation, like who you should give this heart to the next patient. Especially one of the patient was eligible, then we learn actually this patient had a drug abuse history. Then one of the guy, he has a poor metabolism, he has like a lot of a medical related stuff in this movie. So I actually really used to love the show called House, but I also like another show is called Chicago Med. I really like that show. So this kind of medical stuff show, I do like it a lot. However, this movie, it does bring all this interesting idea to the table, but they also bring you this back and forth story, which I didn't like it at all, because this movie tells you like the backstory. This movie has this time jump storytelling. I don't like normally time jump story, especially when you're watching a straight cut story like heart transplant. I don't need to see like what was it, what is here right now and what was back then, but that was the point of the story, which I do acknowledge, because in this movie we also see Dr. Boxer. He's actually trying to do like the animal heart transplant into the human heart transplant. So he was working on that project, and this morning I went to Twitter and I didn't press the news, but I actually saw there was a news about the first pig heart transplant was planted in the human. So it's very creepy idea, I guess. But he was working on that in this movie we see. But also we see Dr. Boxer. He also need a heart in this movie. Yeah. Because it's a movie, they need to make it spicy and complicated. Then it will be interesting. You will keep watching. What I thought about overall this movie. I thought this movie was actually, I liked a lot. I liked more than I thought, especially this movie, all the idea. Again, this movie is not for everyone, but people who like this kind of medical related stuff, you will like this movie. Especially this movie covers a lot about heart transplant. How do you get this thing? I found them very interesting, but some people will not like this, because this as a movie, it does have a lot of drama on the side, especially Kelsey Grammer and Julia Stiles. Their love story, like their hookup story, it was hard to get into, honestly. At first I was like, oh really? That is, I will say, the downside for this movie. Overall, it was an interesting watch for me. It's definitely not for everyone, but you like this kind of medical drama, you'll find this movie interesting. Anyway, that's my thought on this movie. Let me know in the comment what do you think about this movie. And if you enjoyed my review, don't forget to check out my other reviews on Netflix movie and other stuff. reaction. Please subscribe and take care.